All right, anyway, I promised I would take some calls, so let's do it via Discord. Come talk to me right now, davidpakman.com/Discord. Get yourselves into the waiting lobby. Let's do it. Let's get to 1,000 Twitch subscribers right now. Take that money from Jeff Bezos. People going completely off the wall with the code SADTRUMP on my website, joinpakman.com. Let's do the whole thing. Let's do the whole thing and let's talk to a few people. Let's do like 5. I promised I would. The speech went so long. I do have to make dinner. You know, it's getting crazy. Let's go right into it. Let's speak to Paul from the Bronx. You're on the air, Paul. What's going on?
I'm doing well. I just want to check in on you and how can you sit here and survive a Trump speech for like the 19th time?
Yeah.
Because halfway towards the end of that speech, I'm like, this is all sounding familiar again. This is the same speech he did when he first ran a couple years ago.
It is. It's the same speech. It's the same speech. The only thing is now he's saying he's going to have to make it great again.
But some of the other things that he was saying also wasn't really making sense. Like,
yeah, you're right.
Voter ID thing.
None of it was making sense. You're completely. I didn't understand a word of it.
No, like, the whole voter ID thing. I'm like, but Democrats have always said it's fine to ask for ID. They're just saying make the IDs attainable. Like in some of these areas, like they have voter ID offices open like 2 times a year. I'm like,
right.
That's not helping anything.
Not to mention sometimes that in some states, the documents you need to get the ID, if you don't have it, it costs money to get a copy.
Exactly. Like I was fortunate and blessed that when I turned 18, I managed to go out to get my non-driver's ID, but not everybody's as blessed to have all those documents laying around.
Do you just not need a license because you're in New York City?
For the most part, like I just not recently got my permit, but I'm not in any rush to actually get the full driver's license, really.
Gotcha. All right. Very good. Well said. I appreciate the call and good audio for the most part.
Thank you.
All right. Very good. We're talking to some folks, guys, and people are dumping in memberships. Math T has just subscribed with Twitch Prime, and who else? I mean, it's just people are just thrilled to be here, it seems, as the crowd slowly files out of CPAC. Why don't we talk to, I don't know. How about Trey from Missouri?
Can you hear me, David?
Yes, I can.
So I just kind of wanted to ask 2 questions. Number one, I heard your video the other day and you talked about how if Trump ends up running in 2024, it's going to be a problem for Joe and Kamala.
Yep.
So the question would be, who would be the candidate if it's not them? Who could win, right? Because, I mean, we can talk about Joe and Kamala's issues, about Kamala's approval ratings. Biden's not done a lot of stuff except for the COVID stimulus, and that can't be enough to carry him through 2024. Who would be the candidate that could win?
Like I said in that video, I don't know the answer to that yet, Trey. I think it's too early. And as I said in the video, it's not too early for me to say if it's a rematch of 2016, I think Biden's in trouble. It's not too early for me to say based on Kamala's current approval rating, I think if it's Trump versus Kamala, Kamala's in trouble. But that third scenario, if it's someone else, I don't yet know. I think it's just too early.
And then my second thing is a lot of the time that we see on the left that there is a litmus test for candidates, right? Do you support these issues, right? And partly because the right doesn't care about policy anymore, and we've outlined reasons why.
Is that true though? What's a litmus test issue for Democrats?
What is your stance on healthcare? What is your stance on immigration? Where do you stand on the amount of student loan debt to cancel, right?
Wait, hold on a second. I don't know that those are really litmus tests. Like what's the acceptable answer on healthcare?
Well, you see a lot of energy getting behind the Medicare for all, and those who support a public option are sometimes ostracized or is looked at as being part of the problem of why the healthcare system is weak. And
but Biden doesn't support M4A, and he won the primary, so clearly it's not a litmus test.
I'm not saying Biden specific. I'm saying just royally speaking.
Okay.
I guess I wasn't specific about who I was referring to.
I see. Yeah, I'm not seeing that. I don't know. I mean, there's even I think some pro-life down. I don't know that I see the degree of litmus tests that you're pointing out.
I guess the point I was going to make was that versus the right, where the litmus test is merely do you believe the election was stolen or not?
I see.
And everybody who wants a career in that in Republican politics has to buy into that, versus it being much more of an in-depth policy-based, policy-based views that will get you in as a Democrat. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's no doubt that the right is not even pretending to care about policy anymore. You're 100% right about that.
That was the main point to make. But anyway, thanks for taking the call.
All right, Trey from Missouri, thank you very much. Thanks to Tons of Mice, as well as TV Kutch for signing up via Twitch Prime. I also want to say thank you to Charles Wieland for signing up with the coupon code SADTRUMP on my website, your new member 145. We're taking a few calls right now, probably 5. Let's go next to Aiden from Michigan.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi, so I was wondering, so I know your stance that if you think that Trump gets renominated versus either Kamala or Biden, then it probably won't go well for either of those two, right?
Yeah, that's my sense right now.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if that stance for you changes if, say, Trump has some primary opponents and he only wins by like a slim margin. Do you think that changes anything because possibly that could divide the party?
Yeah. So my assessment was based on my belief right now that the nomination is Trump's for the taking. If it's a different scenario where there's like a really contested primary for the Republicans, that would be a different scenario. You're absolutely right. That could be different.
Yeah. So then also in that sense, like, let's just say that Trump still gets the nomination, but like a lot of his sort of goons in Congress do pretty poorly in 2022. Do you think that also could change the outcome?
I do. I think if Trump fails to pick the winners in 22, it could certainly weaken him.
All right. Thanks. I've been a huge fan for the past year or so, and you've really helped me get through some stuff, and I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Great call. I like that one. I want to say thanks to Marzu Fazu as well as Hit My Zerg, who signed up via Twitch Prime. We're only 16 subscribers from 1,000. Let's go to 4 digits. Let's just do it. We'll take a couple more calls here. How about, it's just so difficult to pick because there's great people from everywhere. How about, let's go to the location of CPAC. Let's go to William from Texas. William, you're on the air.
Buddy, that was that was something else. I'm not in studio, so my audio is not going to be that good.
Oh, you're not in your studio today? That's all right.
I'm not in the studio today, but I was like, oh, David's watching it, so I'll see how he's reacting. Man, I think we're in trouble. I think the Democrats are in trouble. I really do. A funny story. My father has had this transformation as a Republican over the last 40 years. You know, he was this Reagan Republican in the 80s. You know, he was really disgruntled for the last 40 years. I think he's honestly, he symbolizes what's happened to, conservatives and how just insane they've become. I was having a discussion with him the other night, and I was talking to him about healthcare, and his buddy just, got cancer, and we were talking about healthcare costs. And somehow, some way, a discussion about healthcare, we started talking about immigration. And I honestly believe we are in serious trouble because they are riled up. They really are. So
I don't disagree with you. And right now, I mean, they seem, part of it also is like, if it's Trump, they don't want to be wrong and they don't want to have lost the last shot at it with Trump. So I think that I just see a Trump nomination in 24 activating Republicans way more than Biden or Kamala will activate Democrats, with having had 4 years of Biden-Harris. That's my concern. Hello? Okay. Seems like we lost him. All right. Let's continue. Why don't we go next to... let's go to Leah from my birth city of Buenos Aires, Argentina. Leah, you're on the air. Hello? Leah from Buenos Aires. I heard 4 knocks, or no, 5 knocks. And now 2. Leah from Buenos Aires, I did want to chat, but... Hola? No, that's too bad. That's too bad. All right, let's try... Man, that's disappointing. Let's go next to... Let's go to Lucas from Connecticut next. Lucas, you're on the air.
Hi, David. I was just wondering, do you think Biden is a better president than Obama was?
It's too early to say. I think that Biden was handed a situation that was sort of imposed upon all of us, meaning the pandemic. And so the dynamics of these first few months have just been different. I think Biden has the potential to get more major legislation done than Barack Obama. I just think it's too early to know.
All right. Thank you.
All right, no problem. You know, since that one was quick, let's do one more. Why don't we go to Matt from Indiana? Matt from Indiana, you're on the air.
Hi, David. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, yeah. So in relation to the Trump speech, I have to say it. I mean, most of it was quite. I don't want to say incomprehensible, but that ending part, that just overall, I'm not left with a whole lot of optimism. I do agree with your assessment that whatever quality Trump has to get supporters on board, unfortunately, his poll seems to be a little stronger than what Biden has. So I'm not overly optimistic for 2024, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it's still early and hopefully things will change. But you know, that's similar to the assessment I laid out last week. I agree with you, certainly.
And then if I might ask a quick question, this
Please.
is not related to the speech, but I was curious, by some stroke of luck, say, maybe it was a scheduling thing. Somebody thought they were booking the Four Seasons landscaping. I don't know. But say like you happen to get like a Lauren Boebert or a Marjorie Taylor Greene to agree to come on. Would you actually pursue that, or would you think that the quality of the dialogue would just not be worth anything to anybody?
I would pursue that. Yeah, I would pursue that.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious about that.
Yeah, sitting members of Congress, I think that generally speaking. I mean, what's interesting is typically when I interview members of Congress, it does really poorly. No, but my audience just doesn't care. But I think with someone who's more unhinged, and we might be able to confront about some of their disgusting ideas, that it would be of probative value.
Very good. I appreciate you. Thanks for taking my call, David.
My pleasure. I'm so glad that you called. That is going to do it for calls today. We have streams coming this week. We have all sorts of other content elements, and I really appreciate everybody who joined me. Let's do it again really, really soon, okay?